Yeah, that Concrete Cowboy jump was pretty good, Mark, to be quite honest with you, man. I
Yeah,
didn't
I gotta watch it, man. I know the real story. I just want to watch, the movie version of it. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
they have real people from was it Fulton Street? That's what it's
Yeah,
called? Fletcher Street. Fletcher Street
Fletcher
boy.
Street. Yeah,
Yeah, Fletcher Street. That's your way, right? You in North Philly, you in South Philly.
yeah. I mean, that's North Philly,
Okay, but you in South Philly, right?
Southwest.
Southwest Philly. God
Yeah.
damn. What's the difference?
Oh man, you know what I mean? Shoot,
Like a world
everybody got his issues.
apart.
Every part of
Yeah,
Philly got its issues. That's all
yeah,
I'm gonna say about that.
indeed. I enjoyed it, man. I enjoyed it.
That's
Yo,
good,
yo, we are back. We are back. Mark, what it do, man? How you feeling out there, homie?
man. Shoot, it's good, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? My nephews hit me up. You know what I mean? For real, the new J's drop Wednesday. They
Yes,
want
yes,
pairs. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
So we'll see. University Blues. You know what I mean? I know you know about
yes.
this stuff.
You know I'm on it. You know I'm a Carolina fan. So I'm definitely on it. I'm waiting for it to come out when no joints. I got my homeboy. I actually missed him on the hits. So my
Yeah,
homeboy was able to hit it. So he's going to give me a pair that he hit. So that's love right there for retail. Him and I, we do that normally. You know what I mean? If I got something he want, I get it for him, all love, and he do the same for me. So
yeah,
man, I can't wait. I can't wait to get my joints in hand. Whew, I can't wait.
no doubt, no doubt.
Yo, so we are back. Shout out to everybody out there watching. We came in the room with double-digit viewers. Thank you all for watching tonight. Shout out to YouTube. Shout out to Facebook Live. Shout out to Blackjack TV, channel 199, Zingo TV. Shout out to all our family. Shout out to Merv, Stacks, Tina, Becca, and shout out to my homie, my partner in crime tonight, Mark. We have a lot to unpack, my dude. You see, I got the microphone in my hand right now. I'm about to bust a note. Ooh wee. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I got the mic on red tonight. So man, we're gonna get into a lot of stuff tonight. A lot of
No
stuff,
doubt.
man. Good evening, Trey. Thank you for watching tonight. Yo, Nick J. Good evening. Good evening. So let's I'm gonna hit a note tonight, man. By the time we get to the halfway point, I'm gonna hit a note. So y'all get ready for that. So Mark, let's go in and get into it, man. We got a lot to unpack, a lot to get into tonight. Our main topic for tonight would be the top hip hop disc records. We actually did our 5 for 5, and
Thanks, Nick.
we're gonna really get into it, man. So man, yo, you getting shout outs for the curly hair, the curls popping. I got the nappy look going on. Yo, let's get into it, homie. So the first thing we want to talk about, heavy.
Yeah,
Heavy, man.
yeah,
Heavy.
definitely,
The DMX Memorial, man.
man.
So, yo, this one was heavy. I didn't watch it, man. I read some of the comments. I watched
Right.
some of the highlights. So what happened, man? What you feeling on that?
I'm gonna tell you, man. I mean, the way they came out with X, that was a celebration. You know what I'm saying? I know some of the service was a little somber, once you got inside the Barclays. But outside though, that was a celebration, man. It seemed like every biker from PA, Jersey, New York, Connecticut, anybody near New York rode their bike up there, you know what I mean, for where to give X the send off. X being carried in the monster truck. I'm just like, everybody don't get that. Everybody don't get that type of send off. You know what I'm saying? That was a hell of a send off, man. And they did memorial. Here's the thing. I think all the memorials that they did around, in other cities before this one was the lead up to. You know what I'm saying? Because I spoke about the one they did in Philly. We all the way in Philly. The Rough Riders came down. All the bikers, you know what I mean, for real, dirt bikers, all of that.
Right,
Everybody was out at the Platte. You could not even drive your car in there.
right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, and they did a whole memorial to X. Everybody bumping X. People had microphones out there kind of giving their spills or whatever. So
Yeah.
I'm like, this just the lead up. I can't even imagine what the real joint would be.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And people who I know that were in New York or near New York, they went. They were
Right.
just like, you know what, Mark? I ain't going to work. I'm going to the memorial. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
I understand that.
Right.
That's how much X touched people.
Right. He's worthy of that. I mean, you got to think about it. Shout out to Kyle. Kyle said he was out there. Kyle is a bike rider as well.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Kyle was out there representing New Jersey. But you got to think about it, man. Like the thing about it is, like Kyle said, the cops shut down a highway. I mean,
I believe it.
he deserves that. If you think about it, Mark, who was the biggest artist that probably passed away in the recent years? It had to be, it had to be X, because after Pac and Big, you had some, don't get me wrong, you had some heavyweight, not saying that, I don't want to put Death in a tier group, right? But I'm just saying the magnitude, the reach that an artist had, and X would be that next one in line. You got Big, you got Pac, you got Big, and you had some other things. You had Pun, you had others, Freaky Top from the Lost Boys. You had so many different things happening, unfortunately, in hip hop. Nipsey Hussle about a year ago, 2 years ago.
That was pretty big too.
That was pretty big.
That was big too. Yeah.
But X was a little bit different in a way, where X also was still greedy, but he hit that mainstream, because now you're talking about movies. You're talking about a guy who was loved, a guy who was loved for his pain. He never sugarcoat who he was. And we did a tribute to X on the show about, I want to say, 2 weeks ago. And I think it was fitting for us to also make sure we pay homage to the memorial. My biggest takeaway, man, I had a chance to really dive into some of the comments and just some of the highlights. I couldn't watch the whole thing, I'll be honest, man. It's still kind of surreal. But Swizz made a comment, man. Swizz was like, everybody's showing fake love. You know what I mean? Swizz, I think that was his hurt talking. If I'm really thinking about how Swizz really cared for X and how he was there for X, but he was saying a lot of fake love is out there. And he had some great people, speaking on his behalf. You had Eve, you had Dragon, you had Jada, Styles, you had Nas, you had some heavyweights out there speaking on behalf of X. And I thought that was really dope for them to come through and pay their respects the right way, and just do it the right way for the dog, man. That was a tough one to watch. I only could have watched the highlights. I couldn't watch the whole thing.
And I understand, man, because I'm just like, I'm like, this ain't one of these things where, let me start playing his music because he passed away. No, you were playing his music all along.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. I can tell you, like, you know what I'm saying? Before X, you even heard of X in the hospital, I was playing it the month before that, the month before that. You know what I'm saying? He would always have a song. You know what I mean? Like, when you get in your car or whatever, you might have your playlist or whatever it is, or your music might start jumping around. An X song is going to be in rotation. Absolutely. Even if you ain't put it there. It's going to just be there. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, I remember this joint. This is my joint. So the one thing I take away from this, right? And Kanye with the Sunday service was phenomenal. I thought that was great. But also what Swizz said, he was just like, we need to start giving people their flowers while they're here.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And really, it's like more like, if you got love for somebody, you got respect for somebody, let them know that while they're here. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to wait until something happens. You know what I mean? Just let them know why they're here, man. So, you know what I mean? If you appreciate somebody, let them know why they're here. You know what I mean? If it's somebody, you know what I mean, that you got love for and you ain't talked to in a while, just call them up. Say, hey, you know what I mean? Life got busy, whatever, but you know what? I'm just reaching out. You know what I mean? How you doing? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, man, we all got our, you know what I'm saying? We all got, our clocks, you know what I mean? It's all going to be punched soon enough. You know what I'm saying? So let people know how you feel while you're here and while they're here. If you do that, man, you're going to be straight.
Absolutely, man. Life is short, man. Life is short. So you gotta, every moment is a blessing, man. Every moment. And I think Tina just posted, what Swizz said, he's write your wills, because like you were saying, a lot of people out there, just trying to tag along because it's the dog, you know what I'm saying? And I guess he didn't like it. It's one of those things where those guys, they know X, they knew X very well. And they knew his circle. And when you start seeing people come out of the blue who wasn't there when he probably needed them the most, I see how someone can get upset about that. Because I felt that way sometimes, where when, at funerals, I'm like, yo, where were y'all when 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 she was alive. My grandmother was alive. You know what I mean? Where were y'all then? Why y'all want to come in here and bring condolences? You know what I mean? Where were you when we needed you then? You know what I mean? So
Right.
I can understand where he's coming from with that. So again, you know, give people their flowers, man. Don't wait until it's too late to try to come up and start fake capping like, you know, you was always there and you really wasn't. So that was my takeaway from the whole thing, man.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Absolutely. So, man, just to lighten it up a little bit more, the NFL draft is coming up right around the corner, man.
Yeah.
This someone hit me up today and was like, man, what are your thoughts on the draft? Man, I have no thoughts at all. I don't know what is going to happen. It's like, I don't know. You hear so many stories. I think the first 10 picks, you may get about 4 or 5 quarterbacks off the board.
Right.
This is going to be a crazy draft, man. Are you looking forward to the draft, man, being an Eagles fan?
Not really, but I think it's some interesting storylines. I'm like, San Francisco clearly, found out that they needed a quarterback. The quarterback they had just wasn't cutting it.
Right.
Merv is a 49ers fan. He's been trashing that quarterback pretty much since he got there. You know what I'm saying? So I understand how 49ers fans feel because I have a few friends that are 49ers fans. Shout out to Justin. Shout out to my man my man Earl, and shout out to a few other guys, you know what I mean, who are 49ers fans. But you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to tell you, they traded everything to get up to the number 3 slot to take a quarterback. This kid from BYU seems like he shot all the way out of nowhere to potentially be the number 3 pick in the draft, and he might even go number 2. He might not even be there for San Francisco at 3. So I was just like, that's crazy. The receivers are all moving up. This is why the Eagles traded out at number 6, because they felt that Jamar Chase from LSU, the kid from Ohio State, you know what I mean, for real, he wasn't going to be there. Who's that? Smith. Smith. They felt that those guys will be going at 4 and 5. So why stay at 6 if you ain't getting one of them? And I'll say one thing about Jamar Chase. If you like the guy from Minnesota, who was that Shepard from last year, they said Chase is better. You know what I'm saying? Because they both played at LSU, and they said he was better then. Right. Will he be able to prove that in NFL? We'll see. But that's a big statement to say, he's better than him right now.
Right.
That's pretty big.
That is. I mean, I saw someone was saying that the Cowboys may go after Pitts. I wouldn't be mad. We definitely need secondary help. But, Pitts, I think Pitts is a generational type of player, man. He might be the best player in the draft right now. He may have the best grade in the draft out of everybody, apart from Trevor Lawrence.
Right.
So I don't think he's going to get there. I think Atlanta is going to get Pitts. I can see Atlanta really getting Pitts, honestly, because Atlanta is the type of team, they want weapons. They could care less about their defense. They want weapons. If he slipped to number 10, I think Stephen Jones is going to try to convince Jerry not to go after Kyle Pitts. I think Kyle Pitts is a generational player, man. But you got 3 monster receivers on that offense, and you got Zeke, and you got the old line coming back healthy. You need to invest that money, those picks into a defensive player. But second round, you still can find talented defense. This is a talented defense, defensive draft. So I'm curious, man, what's going to happen. I think there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to shake up the draft leading into the draft. I heard Julio Jones might be on the block for Atlanta. And if that's the case, they're going after Pitts. I mean, so it's just one of those things, man. This is going to be a good draft, man.
And the NFL draft's going to be crazy. My routine still stays the same. I watch draft day before I watch the actual NFL draft. I do it every year. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to watch draft day, and I'm going to hope, the Eagles draft goes like that movie. You know what I'm saying? Because I do every year.
Do you want offense or you want defense?
Shoot, you know what? I'm taking defense. I'm like this, man. Our defensive line, I think, is one of the best, but you got to back it up, and we don't have any linebackers. And you got to back it up with some linebackers. I know we got a couple in free agency, but we still need some help there. Secondaries, and you know what I'm saying. But I think that was because of the coaching. You know what I mean. And Schwartz is out of there. I just didn't think he was a good defensive coach, except the defensive line. You know, which he was stellar. But I was just like, with a new coach, I think it'll be a new scheme. I like what Indianapolis did with their secondary out there. So maybe for this coach and this staff can bring, some of those intangibles, for it to our secondary, because I think we have some decent players and maybe they could turn them into better players. We'll see.
Right. Good deal. Good deal. So man, let's go ahead and move into Red and the Meth battle. So man, I honestly, man, I'm torn by this battle. I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm maybe I got spoiled by the Ray and Ghost battle,
yeah,
and the Earth, Wind, and Fire. You know what I mean? Ivy Brothers battle.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, man. I wasn't.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, it was a letdown, and I hate to do this to DJ Scratch because DJ Scratch is a legend.
Yeah.
But you got to understand, for verses, you need a get the crowd hype party type of DJ.
Facts.
He's like a in the studio, know every beat in the symmetrics of the beat type of DJ. He's not a rock the crowd 50,000 strong type of DJ. You need that type of DJ. So I'm not trying to shit on him, you know what I'm saying? In any way, but he just didn't. I'm just like, even in the intermission, right? You got Wu-Tang records, you got Def Squad records. That's a gazillion records to choose from. And you don't do a Wu-Tang Def Squad set all night during any intermission.
Right.
Why would you not do that? So he's paying homage to the female rappers. I'm like, no disrespect to any female rappers, but why are you doing that? You have Wu and you have Def Squad. You know how many records you have? In your DJ Scratch, you were the DJ for Def Squad. How come we couldn't get Eric Sermon records? How come we couldn't get K Solo records? I mean, come on, man. He was so disappointing to me. He was
Tridash, man. I'm be honest, it was one of those things where it was so bad that they had people calling him out. Like Street Life came on there, and Street Life, he's like a loyalist for Meth, man. Like he's always with Meth. The one thing about Street Life, when he said, he's like, yo, you messing my joint up. You know what I mean? Like Street Life was pissed because like you messing my setup. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things where Scratch is a better DJ than that, much better DJ than that. I don't know if you were trying to play something. I don't know if he was trying to play to the crowd or play.
I don't think he was trying to play to the crowd. I think he was just doing whatever was in his head.
Yeah, I think he overthought it, man, to be honest.
Yeah, that's it. That's probably it right there.
Right. And you're trying to stack yourself up against someone like DJ Nice, who you can't really stack up against DJ Nice right now. Nice is in the bag right now. Nice is in like a whole different rhythm right now. You talk to any DJ there, say, yo, Nice he's on a run.
Yeah.
He's in a groove.
I mean, man, I understand that. My thing is, I just wanted them to get a DJ that understands how to rock the crowd. And I'm saying, and Tina, listen, respect to the ladies, right? But you're DJ Scratch. You were the DJ for the whole Def Squad movie, right?
Right.
And you got the whole Wu-Tang movement, right? You're telling me in an intermission or interlude or anything, why are you not playing a record from Wu or from Def Squad? Right. That don't make no sense to me. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm not trying to come at the ladies. They're great. But I'm just saying, for this particular matchup, when you have hundreds of records to choose from, this is the set you choose. That's just amateur hour. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
I can't respect it.
Absolutely. Yeah. He could have gone into a whole different bag. That Def Squad bag is deep. He could have gone so many ways to that Def Squad bag. I mean, you could have gone EPMD and bring it all the way up. Easily. I told you last week, I wanted to see True Master on the set. True Master, nice. one of RZA disciples. I wanted to see True Master.
That'd have been nice.
Because True Master would have killed it. He know how to. True Master is a beast on the turntable. He would have killed it.
I was like, man, and the thing is, I reached out to my cousin Active, and he ain't even respond to me. You know what I'm saying? Like he ain't even respond to me. It's like almost like next question.
Right.
Like,
right.
that's not good.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I'm like, he's in the DJ community. You know what I'm saying? That's not good.
Right. Meth and Red kind of played it off because they knew he was playing joints that probably shouldn't have been played on time. So his timing was off as well. And I've been to concerts where the DJ was killing. Like I was to a couple of Nas concerts and he used DJ Green Lantern. And Green Lantern be on point.
Green Lantern was on fire, right?
Fire. Even when we went to the Wu-Tang concert year before last, True Master was the DJ. And
Right.
True Master I was like, yo, True Master is killing it because he has an ear for music. And you would think Scratch has a great ear for music. Scratch is
he's an in the studio guy, though. Yeah. I think he's an in the studio type of guy. Like, you know how like when somebody's fine-tuning a masterpiece album, he's the DJ in there. He's not the DJ to rock the crowd.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, we got 50,000 people in the stadium. He's not that type of DJ. That's not him.
That's not him.
I'm like, think about it. Shawn, you're from New York, right? When have you heard of DJ Scratch got a party? When does it happen? DJ
Scratch, like we could just mention, she said, he's the technical stuff, right? To your point, Mark, I think because of verses, he's thinking about, okay, I got a crowd. I need to do all this other extra stuff and not do what DJ Scratch is known for doing.
Right.
When you listen to DJ Scratch, his name is DJ Scratch for a reason.
Yeah, I mean,
he has to for a reason.
Yo, like you can't battle him on the. You can't do that.
No, you can't. You can't. I told somebody before, just kind of going back to the Meth versus Red, because it really wasn't the verses. It was more of like a compilation, right? It was a concert compilation. I thought that when when Meth went into that Wu bag, I'm like, yo, that Wu bag is deep, because there was a time where Meth, his run was phenomenal. When they play the what, with him and I'm Big, I'm like, no one is beating that. No one is beating
right.
Like, so it was one of those things where I think they played every record that we wanted them to play, even when they played the Rock Wilder. Me personally, I think I'm tired of hearing that song, to be honest with you. I think I played it so many times, so much.
Right.
And it's a short song, so you play it over and over and over. We knew that was going to be the closeout song. When they brought out Deck, and they brought out, I think it was Kappa came out too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Cap came out. They had Keith Murray out there.
Keith Murray came out of nowhere. RZA came out.
Mm-hmm.
Who else they brought? They brought Parrish. They brought EPMD together.
Yeah, that was love.
That was love. You brought K Solo. I was surprised they brought K Solo.
K Solo. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't see K Solo in a minute.
Yeah, I mean, thank you, DMX, for kind of pushing K Solo off the stage.
Right.
Disrespect to K Solo.
Spellbound.
We know about the Spellbound thing.
Spellbound, yeah. You got to be a hip hop head to know that. And K Solo something. It was, again, Meth was, Tayson hit it. Meth was the rap hook king. And in that time, Meth was the one. He was he was Nate Dogg before Nate Dogg. Meth was the one. And we could mention DJ Kool came out. You know what I mean? When Kool came, Kool like what, 63? Kool came out.
DJ Kool been around forever. Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you talking all that DC Go and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And all these men, for the longest, I keep forgetting that he's from DC. I kept forgetting that he's from DC, from the DMV. I keep forgetting that, man, because you hear DJ Kool, all you hear is "Let me clear my throat." That's all you remember. That's all he has to play in every party, and that's that. And Red bringing them out, that was love too. So overall, it was a solid versus. It was a solid versus. I'm gonna just leave it at that. I'm a big Wu-Tang fan.
But like you said, we got spoiled from the last two.
Yeah,
because they were great. The last two were great. They might rank up there as the best. So it is a little bit of a letdown. When you have to follow that. That's a hard. That's a hard act to follow. But those back to back, that's hard to follow.
Right. And Rika, honestly, if they do a go-go versus, I think that versus can that would go crazy. That
Yo,
go-go versus will go crazy.
man, shoot. If they
You
did
really
a
have to set up a shop in your house and really get prepared for a party
man,
for a go-go versus.
I'm
Yeah,
trying to tell you, if they do a go-go versus,
yeah,
my whole DC family will go nuts. That's
nuts,
number one.
nuts.
You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, man, that's rare essence, junkyard, backyard. Like,
yeah, and
come
they
on,
go.
man. And if you ain't been to a go-go, trust
Yeah,
me, you're gonna fight in that joint.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
gonna be cool after it, but you
Yeah.
fighting somebody when you in there. I've been, so I know.
Yeah, they go crazy in go-go music, man. That
Yeah,
would be go-go verses would be crazy.
yeah,
It's an acquired taste though. It's going to be for folks who really enjoy go-go. It's not going to be global. You're not going to be there for the views. You're going to be there for just the go-go
yeah.
music. Go-go music go hard. They
Straight
go
up.
hard.
I'm telling
I've been eating go-go sets, and I'm like, yo, they going crazy right
you. Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah. It's crazy. Yeah.
They go crazy.
You gotta back out the way. Like if you don't want to be
Yeah,
involved, like
yeah,
move to the left or way to
right,
the right.
right. If you
Because
got
somebody
some
will
nice
elbow you in your neck.
Right. You got some nice
Trust
kicks on, nice outfit. You don't want to get nothing spilled on it. Move out the way. Move out the way. Just back away. Don't get on the floor. Don't even go on the edge of the floor because it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. So, man, let's go ahead and get into the next one, man. We got another one, and that was the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, man. Yo, the final episode was bananas.
Yeah.
When Sam came through the window throwing the shield and it had the outfit on, man. I had a moment, man, I had a childhood moment, man, because I remember reading the comments back in the late 80s, early 90s when Sam Wilson took on the moniker of Captain America, man. And when
Mm-hmm.
I saw they put the actual uniform and he had the wings, which is also made out of vibranium from Wakanda. Just man, it felt good, man. I thought the episode was action packed from the beginning to the end.
Right.
I thought that the storyline really came full circle, but they also left us with a lot of different things that can go into different places
Yeah.
for future shows and for future movies. What was your thought on the last episode, man?
Man, I didn't know he was gonna have the wings. I
Yeah,
mean, that was so dope to me, man. That because I was like, well, if he become Captain America, I'm like, he giving up the wings though, right?
yeah,
Nah, he's Captain America with the wings. So I'm
the
like,
win.
that was so dope to me, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So I love that part. And I would say, probably my favorite part is when he was talking to the original Black Captain America.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And just kind of, you know what I mean? Just like it was like a meeting of the minds. It was like, this is how this is now. You know what I'm saying? And the old
right,
Captain America is kind of like, oh, we'll see, youngster. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
Kind of like that. But I'm glad that, the original Captain America, kind of let go of some of that anger and let Sam kind of, you know what I mean, for it, just kind of give him his ideas and how he thinks, you know what I mean, things should go. And of course, you know what I mean, the best part, everybody probably could agree, outside the action is when Sam, gave his speech at the end in the Captain America uniform. And
Yeah,
he's talking to the banks, he's talking to all of the billionaires, trillionaires who roll and control everything. And he's
yeah.
letting them know, you know what I mean, what needs to be done. You know what I'm saying? That was special right there.
Absolutely, man. I thought that one of the things, man, about this show that I felt that Marvel really hit home, it really hit me hard because me being a retired Marine,
Mm-hmm.
it's one of those things where you start when you come back, like when you go back into the world, and I know Stacks and I talked about this behind the scenes before with him being retired Army. When you come back into the world, man, especially being in the military for so long, you're used to a certain pedigree of esprit de corps or loyalty or
Mm-hmm.
camaraderie. And when you're out here in this world, and that doesn't exist anymore because you don't have that anymore. And one of the things, one of the messages in this show where the Black Captain America, the original Black Captain America, was saying how the world would never accept Sam. That was his whole stance in the beginning. He was like, they
Mm-hmm.
would never accept you, no matter what you have done, no matter what you do, they would never accept you. And I used to hear stories back in the early, back in the day when we black soldiers, black troops would never get the respect. They go and fight a war and come back home
Yeah.
and didn't get the respect at all. You know what I mean? A lot of those guys ended up getting strung out on heroin during during that epidemic during that time in the 60s and the civil rights movements, and they couldn't function well because they weren't getting the treatment and the love that they needed when they got back home from the war. And one of the things that the back end of that story, when Sam took him to the museum and he had a statue up there, and dude, like, that was some good acting, because dude ended up hugging Sam, and he was trembling when he was hugging. Man, that shit hit me, because I was like, damn, man, I had to do this right here, like, you know what I mean? Like, so the Jones
right.
I felt what he probably felt in that moment. Again, that was good acting, because I felt the emotion of that, because he thought that he was erased from history. And you think about how many of us, how many legends, in the military, black, soldiers, black troops, black airmen, black sailors, who were probably legends within their own rights, but erased from the history books because it was the right thing to document their story. And I thought that Marvel really drove that home, man. They really drove that home. And that was a tough moment for me, man. I felt away, because I'm like, damn, that story represents probably thousands of black soldiers, that never got their recognition, and probably had to go to their grave without getting their flowers for defending a country that wasn't defending them. And that was one of the things that really struck home for me, because I remember being in another country and they were saying like, yo, why you even here? Like, they don't even like you over there, so why you even over here? And this is like in late 90s, early 2000s, when I was in Kosovo. And they were saying crazy things to me. I was in Japan. They were like, yo, they don't even like y'all over there. Why y'all over here? So I felt that personally, honestly. So
but it's something that you said, though, when you said like before our time, when some of the soldiers would come home, from fighting wars and everything. My dad was a Vietnam vet. You know what I'm saying? So he would explain that to me. It's something that he never wanted to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Until I had a class presentation, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, and then he finally talked about it, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. But it kind of brought out some old stories, you know what I mean? Because it's like a lot of guys that he went over there with,
what up, OT?
Weren't doing good. One of my, you know what I mean, for one of his good friends, somebody I call uncle, you know what I'm saying? Didn't end up doing so good. My dad was okay, but I'm just like, I'm quite sure he wrestled with a lot of things in his head that he's seen. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Because you got to think, we were coming, like they were coming up, even when I was coming through, I had people saying, yo, don't go into no white man's army, no white man's Marine Corps. And I didn't join because of it. I joined for, personal reasons. You know what I mean? So this episode and all the other episodes resonated with me personally, because I understood where Sam was coming from. Like, how can I defend the shield? And especially in these times, the things that we're going through, the things that we're seeing. I mean, hell, we had two different soldiers in the Army stacks, the Army at Shawn Air Force Base and at Fort Jackson, both in South Carolina, both about 30 minutes, 45 minutes apart from one another. And we see soldiers messing with young black kids. You know what I mean? And it's a very, very interesting time that we're in, because it's almost like history starting to repeat itself in a whole different matter. And only thing, Isaiah, the black Captain America, was saying was, you would never be accepted. You're trying to live up to Captain America, the White Hope. That's how he called it. And for Marvel to even go that route, to say that about their prized, champion Captain America, that was that was tough. That was a very good segment back there. Yep. And good show, man. Good show.
I'll tell you one thing. Loki's up next. You know what I'm saying? And Loki crazy.
Facts takes on.
So
Yeah.
I'm waiting for his.
That's gonna be crazy. I can't
Yeah,
wait
because
for that.
Loki's nuts. Like
Loki is
if you
nuts.
ever watch any Marvel anything
Yeah.
and he's in it, he's definitely gonna grab your attention because he's nuts.
He's nuts. He's nuts. They did announce Captain America 4 coming out. So
Yeah.
yo, can't wait, man. Can't wait. Can't wait.
Yeah, no doubt.
So man, let's go ahead and move into our Mach 5. Loki, yeah. Nick, I think we all waiting for Loki. That Loki joint is gonna be bananas, man. So let's go ahead and get into our Mach 5, Mark. So there are a lot of things that came out, man, but let's start here. Let's go with the Mortal Kombat. So what are your thoughts on that Mortal Kombat, man? We don't want to give any spoilers out because we don't know who watched it and who didn't. So let's be careful not to give out any spoilers.
Yeah, I'm gonna say like this: the action was great. The action, right? It was great. It was definitely a little gory, knives going through people's heads or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm loving the action, right?
Yeah.
The storyline and the acting, however,
yeah.
Now I'm getting into my KB bag. Shout out to the homie Kyle. But now I'm about to get in my KB bag because I'm like, the storyline, not that good. The acting, not that good. Seriously. You know what I'm saying? And I thought it was just me, to be honest, right? I thought it was just me, but then I was like, you know what? Let me go to my nephews. Let me talk to them. And they're just like, Uncle Mark, I wasn't feeling it. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't feeling it. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, all right. And one more question I had. When did Sub-Zero become the man? Because in the game, he was like average.
No, he was the man in the game.
In the game, nah. We use Raiden. We use the bull with the hat more. You know what I'm saying? Sub-Zero. I mean, Sub-Zero is like the boss.
Fam, Sub-Zero.
I can't roll with him.
Sub-Zero he was the man in the games. Remember, Sub-Zero was the first one to have his solo game. They did a solo game on Sub-Zero from the Mortal Kombat series.
That's true. That's true.
Sub-Zero was a beast, and they started making him more of a beast as the game started to progress. He was worthy of that villain role, man. He was a monster in that movie, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, because it came across my Instagram, and Lil Boosie said the same thing. Like, well, when did Sub-Zero become this good? Because I remember in the game, and I'm like, damn, we're thinking back to the '90s when we used to put quarters in the damn game.
Mark, I'm telling you, Sub-Zero is always the man. I'm glad they went that route because if you follow, and again, I know we kind of went away from following Mortal Kombat for years, but when they did like a reboot of it's like a soft reboot, him and Scorpion, their stories were like really dived into right during that time. So that's why you see this version of Scorpion because they really get into the backstory of Scorpion versus Sub-Zero, which would be like the center of the movie. And that's why you didn't see a lot of Liu Kang because Liu Kang, he's still a part of it, but he's not as central as people start gravitating more to Sub-Zero and to Scorpion as the show and as the show, but as the game start to progress. So yeah, I mean, Sub-Zero is the man. I ain't gonna lie, it was entertaining. I understand this storyline because this is just a setup. This is set up for everything, for the open world, right?
Well, let me ask: do they need a part 2? I mean, in your opinion,
definitely, they need about 3 or 4 parts because this one, the purpose of this one was to reintroduce everybody back to Mortal Kombat. So this was really like a legit origin story for the most part, right? They want to reintroduce us back to it, to Mortal Kombat. I wish that Liu Kang had more because Liu Kang is still one of my favorite characters. One of the things that I took away from this myself was the fact that it wasn't whitewashed. If you remember Mortal Kombat 1 and Mortal Kombat 2, you had the dude that was playing Raiden. I forgot the actor name, but he was a horrible actor. But Raiden should not be played by, that guy. Raiden had to be played by someone of Asian descent, and I'm glad he did that. And the dude that really played Sub-Zero, That dude is a beast martial artist anyhow. They said he was going so fast that they had to get him to slow down when they were making the movie.
Oh man, in the movie, goodness, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he was the man.
Yeah, he was the
Jeez.
man. He was the man. So
Period.
I'm looking forward to the follow-ups. I'm hoping they're going to have to do. I think they said they got 4 of them lined out.
Okay.
So this one was just a springboard to the next.
Okay, I got you.
So our second one, man. This one is near and dear to my heart because you know how I am a huge fan of the UFC.
Yeah.
And man, Usman out here giving people the business right now, man.
Man, that was a devastating punch.
Woo.
I mean, soon as he was loading that thing up, I'm like, man. I mean, and I'm gonna say like this, right? Seeing it in fast motion was great. But if you ain't seen it in slow motion, man, you in for a treat if you ain't seen it in slow motion. That Usman punch in slow motion was probably one of the best punches I've seen all year.
Yeah. That lead punch, man, knocked. And you know, it's crazy because a lot of people didn't see that happening with Mazadov because Mazadov got a strong chin.
Yeah.
You're not going to knock him out that clean. And he knocked him out clean. Like, it was a setup hit. You're not going to, the thing about Mazadov, you're not going to out wrestle. That's what, I'm sorry, I just saw the comment. You're right, Chauncey. It was Christopher Lambert. Christopher Lambert should not have been playing Raiden in no capacity. You might as well get Merv to play Raiden. You might as well get Merv to play, yo, man. But yeah, that was Christopher. I'm sorry. I saw the comment. But man, first of all, you're not going to out wrestle Usman. Not right now where he's at.
No.
Now he's become a striker. He's going to be a tough out. He's going to be a tough out, man.
Yeah.
When he landed that, I was like, it is a Rizzy. He's not going to recover.
I mean, it's like all the sweat came out of the boy's head. Like, it's like an explosion of water came out of his head. Like, seriously, it looked like a movie. You know what I mean? To be honest with you. And I'm going to tell you, prayers up for Weidman.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That was so nasty. Like, because he kicked him. Yes. And I'm like, his whole leg looked like it was going the opposite direction.
It did.
That was nasty.
It did. It was nasty. And that was one of my biggest fears, man. With me being in martial arts, I was like, man, I don't want to kick somebody and my shit just snapped. So, because that can happen. You got to think about it. You got bone on bone. And depending on how you land it and how someone braced themselves, it can happen. It happened to Anderson Silva.
Yeah.
It happened to him. Same situation against Wheatman at that. You know what I mean? So the same thing happened to him. So, speedy recovery for that guy, man. I hope that he can come out of it. I'm sure I think it was a clean break. So I think
that's good. That's good.
I think he'll be able to get it.
Mm-hmm.
So man, let's move on to your homeboy, man. What are your favorite quarterbacks, man? Your guy, Brett Favre.
Goodness, you know what I'm saying?
Favre made some dumbass comments, man. What are your thoughts on Favre, man?
Again, here's the guy who says, yo, stick to football, right? You know what I'm saying? Honor your contract and all this stuff. So you say stick to football, you say honor your contract, you say all this other stuff, but yet you're still talking political. And you're telling LeBron James what he said, should say, and shouldn't say. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, yo, dude, is it stick to sports or is it stick to sports when it's convenient, when it's the narrative you want to push? Because that's what I think it is. You know what I'm saying? When it's the narrative you want to push, then it's okay. But when anybody else says it, particularly somebody black, you know what I'm saying? Then it's stick to sports. I'm like, dude, your career was made off of black people. Everybody, 90% of the people you pass to that got, catches from you are black. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you should shut up and dribble.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? How about that?
Facts. I don't want to give this dude no more airtime because Favre is tripping. I'm disappointed in Favre, man. He's out here tripping. I know Shannon Sharp got in his ass on one of the shows.
Yeah.
Man, Favre, man, tighten up, man. This is not the time or place, man. Tighten up.
No, not at all.
If you don't know what to say, don't say anything at all. Just keep your peace. Stick to football and commentating for football. And I mean, and that's it. That is it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Don't say anything that's going to create the nonsense that we got going on right now. It's not the time.
absolutely.
Very, very classless, man. So the next piece, man, your Philly brethren, the
Yeah,
late great Kobe Bryant, man. Departure from Nike.
yeah.
What are your thoughts on this, man?
Um, I heard this was in the works before he had passed away that he was going to leave Nike and start his own thing. And it was a lot of things that were on the table with Kobe, with Gigi, who passed away too. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? It was going to be a brand. It was going to be leagues. There's going to be a lot of different things, going on. So I understand that part. Now, here's where it gets maybe a little dicey. Vanessa, I think is honoring what, her late husband wanted. That's number one. But number two, Vanessa had a problem with, what I'm saying, what goes on with the Jordan sneakers now, right? They're rarely available. You know what I'm saying? When they do become available, the price is sky high. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? And, her and her husband wanted all the kids to be able to have an affordable sneaker.
Right.
Not, the sneakers going for $200, $300, $400.
Right.
See, they never wanted that. They wanted,
Right.
for the sneaker to be something affordable, like an $80 sneaker. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Why can't we put out a nice product, for real, for $80 or whatever? Right.
Right.
So
Right.
I get that part. You know what I'm saying? But the sneaker business is big business. You know what I'm saying? If you have a product that's hot, you know what I mean? It's going to retail really high. It's just, and it's sad that everybody don't get to play. Everybody can't get in there, right? I'm like, if you look at sneakers, the way just a normal pair of sneakers now,
Mm-hmm.
they cost a lot. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, even the Kyries that are decent looking sneakers, even they're going for $100. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
Yep.
I'm just like, it's one of these things. Business sometimes is unfair, and you feel bad for some kids that can't get shoes like that, but that's just how it is,
Yep. As a sneakerhead, I get it because for me, I don't own a pair of Kobe shoes. I tried to get them last year and this year, but it was tough because the resale market, like Tina just mentioned, the resale market is ridiculous. I mean, these
Yeah,
guys who are not even fans, possibly, they're just getting it just to resell it on the market for about
right.
500, 600, or a grand. I wanted to get it just to have it, in a vault, man, just to, you know, have it for, just in a vault, man, not to resell to anyone, just want to
Hmm.
have it in the vault. But I can understand that because the sneaker game is a hustle now. This it's a big
Yeah,
hustle. I'm not knocking nobody hustle because I've also, I mean, yeah, I stole some shoes. You know what I mean? I stole some sneakers. So I get it. But I understand where Vanessa's coming from, especially if that was Kobe's his wish, before his untimely death, that he wanted to move away from Nike and start his own brand. I think that this is the right thing to do. I know it's going to disrupt the sneaker community if they end up re-releasing anything under a different brand. I think people are still going to flock to it just because of the legacy of Kobe.
I agree.
So I think it's going to be bigger and better. Nike definitely missed out on being able to re-up, but I'm sure Nike respect the wishes and everything as well.
Yeah.
So we'll see, man. More to come on that. Other topic, man. I'm gonna kick this one to you. I'm not going to say dude's name. Yeah, I mean,
this
you can
this
have
guy
that, man. You can
this
have
guy
that.
finds a way. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like a freak show at this point, and this
Yeah,
is why people tune in. You know what I'm saying? He goes to a club in Orlando. He wasn't really necessarily supposed to perform, but he went there. People heard that he was there, and the club was packed. It was the biggest night this club in Orlando ever had in its existence. And
yeah,
then he did a few songs. This guy jumps off the stage with a whole bunch of jewelry on, right?
yep,
Almost loses his chain in the crowd. But the security, luckily for him, recovered the chain or whatever. But he's not going away. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? you know, everybody always says this. They were
Max
like,
Trey.
if he gets another hit record, you know what I'm saying? If he gets another hit record, he's going to be right back in the mainstream. And you know what? When people, as much as they love a great hero, they even love a great villain even more. And guess what he's viewed as? A villain. So it's almost like that. And that's all I really have on it. Let me also talk about Baby Blue from Pretty Ricky. Hopefully that brother is recovering. You know, it was an armed robbery. He had on that chain right there. And these guys tried to snatch it, you know, and he fought him. He tried to fight him off and ended up getting shot. I mean, to me, I'm just like, listen, I think you can replace the chain better than you can replace your life, right? I'm glad that brother, you know, is okay. That situation could have went way, way left.
Way
You
left.
know, where we got to memorialize him. You know what I'm saying? And lucky that's not the case. So speedy recovery to that brother. You know, it was coming after like a new release of a single or whatever. You know, because he's getting back into music or whatever. So hopefully, and I was just like, yo, if you were ever fans of Pretty Ricky and Baby Blue, you know what I mean, support that brother. You know what I'm saying? For real, you know, go buy his work. I know it's probably on iTunes and Apple and everything like that. So check that out. You know what I mean? For real, Baby Blue, speedy recovery.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So now it's that time. Before we get into our main topic, we always do our man, sit your ass down award. So I'm gonna tee it up for you. You was the one that brought this into my attention.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna tee this one up to you, man. So Mark, please tell me, who do you want to give this week's award to?
This time it's Jake Paul. I'm just like, yeah, out here running your mouth, right? You got the fight with Nate Robinson. We seen that, right? We think, I mean, a lot of people think Askren took a dive in the last fight, right? And now you're mouthing off to Daniel Cormier, you know, one of the best to ever fight in MMA. And honestly, he also, you know, did boxing too before he did MMA. Listen, Jake Paul, you know what I'm saying? You will get your ass handed to you.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, easy. And guess what? You ain't gonna be able to pay off no Daniel Cormier. He just gonna want to whoop your ass. So guess what, man? Sit your ass down and shut the hell up. You know what I'm saying? You're a fraud. You're a phony. You're not even a real fighter. You know what I mean? Stop the nonsense. That's why everybody booed you when you walked into UFC 251, 261.
Right. Somebody's going to hurt that guy, man. Like, he's going to take a fight that he shouldn't take, and they're going to demolish him. And it's not going to be even for a money grab. It's going to be for respect. And they're going to give him they will give him the business, man. And I'm there for it, man. So, yeah, definitely sit your ass down, man.
Absolutely.
I can't wait. So, Mark, it's about that time.
Right.
It's about that time for the main topic for tonight, man. I was anxious for this topic. I had to end up going back into to the vault, man, to take a look at some of the things that some of the disc records that I had felt that was near and dear to my heart, and just trying to be able to to try to figure out how can I compete with what you sent me earlier, man. So, yo, are you ready to dive into this thing?
Yeah, we got to dive into it, man. We got to dive into it. It's so many great disc records over the years. I didn't even think it was that many, but it's a ton. I'm like, man, all these guys took shots at each other, and then you think about it, yes, they did. And I'm talking on records that were on people's albums. We ain't even talking mixtapes. We're not talking freestyles. We're talking on the album.
Right.
That's nuts.
That's nuts. So Mark and I, for those of you who watching, Mark and I did a top 5, our personal top 5 diss tracks of all time. And we also did an honorable mention. So how we're going to do this tonight, we're going to go back and forth. Those of you who are out there watching, especially those of you who are on the Facebook channel, the Facebook, as well as those of you on YouTube, I want you all to rate our top 5 picks. We're going to go back. We're going to go back and forth. We're going to spar with each other tonight. So round 1, we're going to go 5 rounds, and we'll go honorable mention. We would love for y'all to vote who had the best diss record against each other. And let us know by giving us, saying Marc got this round or Shawn got this round or this is a tie. These are not we're not dissing each other, but these are the diss records that we selected to go up against each other for the most part. So we want y'all input as well. I'm gonna try to play maybe a snippet of the song, but I don't want us to get clipped, so you're not going to get the whole thing. So whatever you hear, you hear. If you don't hear it, I'm sorry. I don't want us to get clipped by anyone from Facebook or YouTube. The songs that I do play tonight, I just want to be very clear. We do not own the rights to these songs. Let me say one more time. We do not own the rights to these songs. We did not get permission to play these songs. We're doing it for the love of the culture. We're doing it to pay homage to those great artists who represented with some great diss records. We don't want to dig up old bones. We just want to pay homage to it and give it the proper respect. So with that said, Marc, let's go ahead and get into it, man. So your number 5 pick of what's a tough one, man, of diss tracks.
Yeah.
You had Real Motherfucking G's.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. This went against Dr. Dre mainly. And this really against Dr. Dre because Dr. Dre, left with Death Row under tense circumstances, you know what I'm saying? Violent circumstances, as the story's told. But I was like, man, this was crazy. So I'm gonna go ahead and read this to y'all real quick. This is out of the diss song. This is probably my favorite part of it. You know what I mean? For an ego like this, damn, they tried to fade you on Dre Day, but Dre Day only meant Eazy's payday. All of a sudden, Dr. Dre is a G thing, but on his old album cover, he was a sheet thing. So nigga, please don't step to these real motherfucking G's, right? Now, I'm gonna tell you, you listening to the song doesn't do this justice because they show pictures of Dr. Dre in the shiny, for real, tight, for real, outfit or whatever, right? Yes. You know what I'm saying? Smiling and dancing and all of that. And as a gangster rapper, you know what I'm saying? That looks crazy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and they kept showing those pictures over and over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? So he got him because he pulled them pictures up. I like Dre Day. Dre Day was dope, but it wasn't as dope as this because he had them pictures.
He had them pictures. More, I'm gonna play a quick snippet of that, man, so people can. If those of you who don't remember this song, let me play a quick snippet of that song.
The fucking real G's.
That's all I can play. That's all I can play. But
boy, you should have known by now.
you heard enough to know that it was wartime. It's that war talk,
Right.
That song was hard, man, because one of the things that I don't think people realize with that song was that was during the time where disrespect on a record was going to a whole different degree.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was personal because these guys were actually friends. They were friends.
Yeah.
And he went in on Dre. I mean, he definitely went in on Dre. And it wasn't even fun at the end of the day. Like it was very disrespectful, and it meant with disrespect.
Yeah.
So that was Marc's. Marc number 5 was Real Motherfucking G's by Eazy-E. The target was, of course, the legend Dr. Dre, rest in peace, Eazy-E. You can tell Eazy was hurt, and it came out vicious in that vicious attack because it was wartime. So that was Marc's. So keep in mind, Marc had Real Motherfucking G's, Eazy-E, target Dr. Dre. So mine was a little bit more personal, and I struggled with putting this up there, but I had to represent because it was so raw, and it was KRS-One, man, really the Boogie Down production, and The Bridge Is Over. When The Bridge Is Over, anyone out there who knows hip hop, and anyone out there who consider themselves a hip hop head, hold on for a minute. All right. Anyone who knows hip hop and is a hip hop head, you would know that when KRS One went at MC Shan, who was probably one of the dopest MCs coming out of Queens. You had the whole Juice Crew, you had Marty Marr, you had Roxanne Shante, you had some heavy hit. Kane was on that roster, Biz Markie.
Yeah, Craig G.
Yo,
Yeah.
and when he came out and he was like, Queens niggas, he was like, Brooklyn niggas taking it, Bronx keep on making it, Queens niggas faking it. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? Like, yo, what are you doing? And you had to respect Chris, man. For those of you who don't know that song, I don't know what rock you were hiding under, but this is what it sounds like.
And then they dance with the flipper sensi, down with the sound called BDP. If you want to join the crew, well, you must see me.
I want to go so far.
Yeah, I know. You want to do more. You want to do more, man.
That beat was so bananas.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, man. This guy, the whole Juice Crew. Like, I mean, you gotta understand who the Juice Crew was back then, dude. Those guys were all lyrically great. Oh, and
Right.
Gal, Roxanne Shante. You know what I mean? Sorry about that. Roxanne, don't diss me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
she can still right. You know what I'm saying? But the point is, though, that whole crew like was nasty. Like they all could spit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yo, you know what I mean? Like,
time out. What, yo, your brother Wilder, man. Yo, Mo, relax. Relax, man.
Listen,
relax. Shan was, Shan was a legend.
I'm gonna tell you, but you know what though? I'm gonna say like this with Shan though, right? Everybody said he was the weakest link in the crew.
Appreciate that trade.
Everybody said he was the weakest link in the crew.
He knew, but Shan knew how to make songs. You know what I mean? You got to keep in mind, out of that whole diss record, KRS did not diss Big Daddy Kane. He left Kane alone.
Well, shoot, it was cool.
Right. He was like, yo, Kane just took my TV and he lifted my TV upstairs for me. I'm not dissing Kane. Kane's my guy.
You said he wasn't dissing Kane.
Right. And that hurt. That hurt Shan because Shan was like, yo, we got to ride for this guy. You know what I mean? We got to ride on this guy. They were like, nah, that's Chris. Right. Appreciate that, Rika. Appreciate that. So the fans say, I got that round, Mark. I stole that from you. I stole that from you. So next one, number 4. Mark has a hard one, and I don't think I can beat this one. But Mark had the legend Hit 'Em Up.
Yeah.
Hit 'Em Up, man.
I'm telling you, man.
It was a disrespectful record. Disrespectful record.
This probably is the greatest intro of any diss record ever. The intro, just like we talking the intro. I mean, the record was dope. You know what I'm saying? But soon as he come on, I mean, first off, fuck your bitch in the clique you claim West Side when we ride, come equipped with game. I'm like, yo. I mean, he just went in on them boys like that. Like, that's nuts, man. I mean, Pac, you know what I mean? He bodied him on this joint. Like, seriously.
I'll be honest, like, here's the thing. When Hit 'Em Up came out, I remember I was in basketball camp and I had the white tape of Hit 'Em Up. It was a A side and a B side. It was just Hit 'Em Up on both sides. And I remember listening to that joint, man. I was on a bus and I was like, man, this is bad. Like he was like really going in. But fast forward, I'm like, was Hit 'Em Up really a top diss record? Because his little homies hopped on. And they were really riding on Big. And when you start peeling back the lyrics, I don't know if the lyrics was really, I don't know if the lyrics really, they weren't, okay, for one, they weren't true, right? That we know of, for the most part, they weren't true. But Pop went in, man. Like, dude was like, yo, I'm sleeping with your wife, you fat mother. Like, he was going, oh, man, it was crazy. Yeah. It was crazy. For those of you, for some crazy reason, if you never heard Hit 'Em Up, first of all, I don't know who you are, but if you never heard Hit 'Em Up, this is the song that Marc is talking about.
Hit
ass up, leave you in pieces. Now we deceased. Little kids don't fuck around with real cheese. Quick to snatch your ugly ass off the streets. So fuck peace. I let them make.
Call Lil Kim such a little ugly ass off the streets. God dang, Pop.
Yo, crazy.
Mark, I ain't gonna lie, Mark. That's a tough one. When I saw that one, I was like, I don't know if I can beat that one, honestly, because I felt that when you dropped that one, I was like, I may have to take a L. So keep in mind, everybody, Mark selected Hit 'Em Up as his number 4. Of course, the target was Bad Boy and Big. All right, so that was Mark's. Man, he went at everybody. Mark, I'm gonna try to get you back with that one, man. But the one I got, my number 4 was Dre Day. My number 4 was Dre Day. And the reason why I picked Dre Day is for a couple of reasons. Dre Day was the first time that I think we saw an actual video that was played of a diss record over and over and over. If you recall, when Dre Day came out, I think it was 93 when Dre Day came out.
Yeah.
And when Dre Day came out, it was on MTV every
nonstop.
The video made it that much worse because you had Anthony Johnson, who plays Ezell from Friday, playing a character of Eazy-E. And you had the guy that looked alike of Luke, and they went bananas on this joint. I mean, I was at a point where I'm like, yo, this record was really, really tough. Those of you who never heard Dre Day, I don't know who you are, but this is
yeah. Hell yeah. You know what I'm saying?
The beat by itself should be Hit 'Em Up. I'm not gonna hold y'all.
I'm gonna tell you,
Hit 'Em Up is a classic, but the beat by itself.
Oh, I'm gonna say like this. The reason I think this is a great diss record, but the reason why I think it doesn't get the love as like the best, right? Because he went harder on Luke than he went on Easy. When I say when he went so hard on Luke.
No, that was Snoop.
You gotta understand, like when he went in on Luke, right? You know what I'm saying? We're scrambling back then to try to find out what exactly started the beef. Because in Philly, we didn't know what started that beef. We didn't know Dr. Dre and Luke had a beef.
Right. I don't even know.
Like, what was the beef?
Mark, to this day, I don't even know. Like,
I know though. It was from that Jack the Rapper convention thing. Yeah, I mean down there. And this is when Suge Knight was like entering his prime as a guy who, you know, just beat people ass, right?
That's
you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
They said Suge Knight. Yeah, I mean all these Florida dudes was coming. Suge Knight was knocking them out one by one.
That's right. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Hey Mo, that Cowards in Compton by Luke was funny as shit. The video was hilarious.
It was.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna say like this, but it comes from that Jack the Rapper joint when Uncle Luke and Dr. Dre got into it, and Suge was knocking out Florida dudes left and right. That's why I started.
That's where that makes sense. Dude, Snoop said, he said Luke's bending over, so Luke's getting fucked. He called him a buster. He called him a buster. Like, yo, these guys in the video was crazy, but the video was playing every 15 minutes on MTV. So it magnified the beef.
Right.
It was like, again, when you hear that beat come on, Hit 'Em Up, don't get me wrong, Hit 'Em Up was phenomenal. But when you hear that beat, that shit drop.
Yeah. Well, that's vintage Dr. Dre.
That's vintage Dr. Dre. Vintage Doc. Yo, so man, that was a tough one, man. But I will concede to Hit 'Em Up. Hit 'Em Up is a tough one to go after because there's so much passion around Pop. So I get it. So Mark's third one was a wild card. It threw me off because I remember this joint. I used to play this joint all the time.
Yeah.
It was by no other than its own Beans and Jay. And they were going at Cam. Now, I'll let you do your thing because I have my own take on this record as well. So what made you Take this one, man.
I'm gonna say like this, man.
Fast Nick.
First thing, you know what I'm saying? When people would say Rockefeller, right? It's like, you know, it was like it used to be Jay-Z and whoever else. Jay-Z and the rest of the guys or whatever, right? But this is when Beans came in. And Beans went head to head with Jay on them records. Jay ain't had the best verse. He did. You know what I mean? Beans was beating him on verses. Like really. So let me set this up for you real quick, right? Because Jay, anytime Jay had a beef, he would always deploy troops. And Beans was the troops this time, right? So all right, walk with me on this, right? For anybody who ain't heard this song, I'm gonna read a couple lyrics. And he coming at Cameron. And the reason he's coming at Cameron is because Cameron was assuming power in Rockefeller under Dame Dash. Jay wasn't feeling that. And then Jay and Beans, y'all mean, went in on him. But here's what Beans say. There's a secret society. All we ask is trust. No G money shit. All we got is us. True indeed, yes. Mo better, yes. Mo cheddar, SP, chain, jeans, and sweaters. Movies, cartoons, labels, etc. Fill in the blanks and drop blocks like Tetris. Or get off my block and run south with M. Bethel. From my block to your block. Shout out to M. Extra. Who the fuck want what? None of you niggas is B. Siegel. Word, I'm done with you niggas. When that boy said, get off the block and run south with M. Bethel. You know what I mean? We know, you know, if you don't know who we talking about Mace. When Mace went to Atlanta to be the pastor. Get off the block, run south with M. Bethel, Mason Bethel. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, man. And Cam, I mean, this is how the story go. After that, I mean, was it Freeway and PD Crack had the video shoot? Cam came down and Memphis Bleak pressed him in Philly. You know what I mean? True story. I'm just saying, Cam ain't really want that work like that night.
Yeah, because Cam told his story as well. Cam was like, you know, he made a comment about Beans, and he really didn't mean nothing by it. And Beans pressed him. He said he walked in the room and Beans and Jay was talking, and said that everybody just stopped talking when he walked in the room. And like Beans was like, yo, man, holler at you for a second. Like what you did on Rap City wasn't fly. You know what I mean? And Cam told this story. And you know Cam is fearless. Cam, if you diss Cam, you better believe he's going to diss you 4 or 5 times back to back. But that was one dude that Cam never dissed. Cam never dissed Beans. After all of that, and Cam knew Beans was talking about him. Although Beans never said his name, Beans was just keeping it really light. He was tapping him light in that whole verse. You know what I mean? Like, yo, don't get out of pocket. Just because they ain't put you on, don't get out of pocket. So for those of you who don't know the song, like to hear it, here it comes.
Down cash money like baby do. You niggas soft like baby food. Round the world niggas pay me dues. Why you niggas sing the same old song like Sadie do? Wrong man, nigga.
Ooh, I want to keep going. I want to keep going on that one, man. That was crazy.
Looking cute when the war's on.
The war's on. Yo, you talking about Cam wearing that pink. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Beans were ill for that. So man, that was a tough one, man. When you came out with that one, I used to play that. Yo, Merv, that beat was sick. When that joint used to come on, I used to play that joint like heavy. Because just because of the beat. And him and Jay was going back and forth in that joint. So man, I loved it. I thought it was dope. I thought it was dope, man. So man, I'm about to play.
ROC, we running this rap shit. Memphis Bleak, we running this rap.
So if you don't know, that was my number 3. My number 3, I got to give it up. I have to give it up. As much as I don't want to, The Takeover is definitely my number 3 diss record of all time. Look, at the end of the day, if you're going to go at Beans, if you're going to go against Marc in the Beans record, you got to go back with Jay. You got to go back with Rock versus a Rock, right? And why not? Why not go with The Takeover? And the reason why I select The Takeover is because when you think about The Takeover, man, when you think about the magnitude of The Takeover and when it came out, this was during the time when Jay was probably at the height of his game. no one clearly was touching Jay at this time. Nas was going through some things. His mother was bedridden with cancer. I mean, the game was wide open, man. Nas was sleeping. He was asleep. He wasn't thinking about rap like that. You know, his mother was ill. She was, dying from cancer. Jay was doing his thing. You know, at that time, Prodigy from Mobb Deep was really in a position to be the one to really contend, because the HNIC album had just came out in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Murder Music was like finally went platinum. That was the first platinum album for Mobb Deep. And you got to think about his verse on Quiet Storm was like quotable of the year, almost the end of the century, because he killed it. So at this, HNIC was dissing Jay almost every other record. You know what I mean? He was dumping all over Jay on HNIC. And then all of a sudden, Jay come out with the takeover. And when he said, I don't care if you Mobb Deep, I hold triggers to cruise, you little fuck, I got money stacks bigger than you. When he said that, I was like, yo. And he premiered it at Summer Jam. And keep in mind, Mark, during this time, again, this is when the legend Mike.
Yeah.
And then he did the takeover. And then the last verse, he was like, ask Nas, he don't want it with Hove. No. And he never did the verse. He left it at that. Hit Nas as well. And this was it, man.
Sledgehammer, don't let me do it to you, Dunny, cause I overdo it, so you won't confuse it with.
When Jay dropped that joint, I was like, man, it's over. I had dudes reaching out to me like, man, this shit reminds me of The Bridge Is Over. Like, it was like, yo, it is a Rizzy.
Man, but I'm gonna say like this, right? When Jay threw, the picture of Prodigy on the Summer Jam screen, that was legendary in itself. Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, because nobody did that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, a full-on concert, you got, for real, gazillion people there, and he throws that on the screen, and you from New York. You know what I'm saying? And the whole New York is there.
Yeah.
Like, that's disrespect on top of disrespect. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's the type of stuff that are in your career right there. Like, you have no more career.
Absolutely. So that was my number 3. Marc had his own. I think y'all know who won that. So I don't think we have to take a vote on that. You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to tell you, if y'all actually listening to rap, you know what I mean? For real, you know what it is. If y'all trying to go for what the crowd wants, you know what I mean? Like, come on, man. We keeping it bars over here, man. You know what I'm saying? What are you talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. So Marc, your number 2 was a shocker to me.
Yeah.
But I can't fault you for it. You know what I mean? Ether was your number 2.
Man, so, I'm gonna say like this, right? True story. My brother was in LA. You know what I mean? Mo, if you're watching, y'all know you know this story. He was in LA. He calls me. You know what I'm saying? He said, you have to turn on the radio, right? Mind you, he's in LA. They have different stations over there. But he knew what was brewing. He said, yo, Nas, just turn on the radio, man. I'm gonna talk to you later. Hangs up the phone. You know what I'm saying? They play Ether, right? Mind you, they play Ether 6 times in a row. Like, so for 30 minutes, all you heard was Ether. You didn't hear no other record. And then they played the record every half hour after that, the whole day. So all you, like, this record, you that's all you heard. You know what I'm saying? Was this record. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, you couldn't believe that Nas went in on this bull the way he went in. I mean, that was crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that was just nuts. So I'm gonna give you, for what my favorite parts from this joint, right? He said in '88 you was getting chased through your belt and calling my crib, and I ain't even give you my numbers. All you did gave you a style to run with. Smile on my face. Glad to break bread with the God. Wearing jazz chains. No text, no cash, no cars, no jail bars, jigger, no pies, no case. Just Hawaiian shirts. Hanging with little Chase. I'm like, yo. I'm like, man, that. And when the boy said, is he Dame Diddy, Dame Daddy, or Dame Dummy? Oh, I get it. You Biggie and he's Puffy. I'm like, yo. He killed Dame Dash.
He did.
He killed Dame Dash. I'm like, yo, out of that Ether record, even though he was killing Jay and killing The Rock, right? Yeah. I think the line about Dame Dash got to be my favorite in the whole joint. That was nuts.
Absolutely. So Mark and I, we collided with this one. I had Ether as my number one, so I had to pivot because Mark and I actually collided. I didn't want to be redundant with sharing Ether, so everyone knew it wasn't going to be no secret that Ether would be my number one of all time. So let me just be clear on that. So we're going to make this one a wash. All right, we're going to tie this one up because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't being redundant and I didn't want to rehash what we already had, because Ether is my number one, hands down. It destroyed Jay. It destroyed Rockefeller. Bean said it himself. He said when Ether dropped, Jay was in that room bouncing the ball off the wall. Like, what are we going to do? He was like, yo, can you guys write something for me real fast so I can rap it? You know what I mean? And Jay, I saw Cal said Jay did a song in 2 hours, and Cal, it sounded like he did a song in 2 hours because that shit was trash. It was so bad that he went on the radio station damn near crying, saying, yo, he's talking about my mom, and he's talking about, me being gay. Yo, he was bugging, yo. So when Ether dropped, I told Stacks this before, and I'm gonna tell him again if he's listening. Ether, that shit that make your soul burn slow. That's in a dictionary, Stacks. That's in the new dictionary. Dictionary got republished in 2001, and they had to put Ether in the dictionary and put this in there by Nasir bin Aludara Jones. And my Stacks. And I want to play this part real quick, Mark.
Jay-Z and Rockefeller Records wanted beef. Started cocking up my weapon, slowly loading up this ammo to explode it on a camel and his soldiers. I can handle this for Dolo.
He went for Dolo. He said that purposely because Jay was getting a rock. He was like, yo, can y'all help me write this song? Because I got to get him. And because when he wrote Super Ugly, that was Jay by himself. Irv Gotti was like, don't drop Super Ugly. That shit is super ugly. It's super.
I'm trying to tell you, that wasn't the one. Like, seriously. I was like, he should have waited. I don't know why he dropped that joint. I'm like, man, that did nothing.
Nothing. Mark, I was in Fort Eustis, Virginia, Newport News, Virginia. Bad News. You know about Bad News, Virginia. y'all hometown. Mm-hmm. I remember, because again, we still reeling from the whole takeover joint. We went to the club and in Newport News, in the hood. And anyone who knows about Newport News, Bad News, Virginia, you got to move carefully out there.
Yes, you do.
They get busy. But we were deep. You know what I mean? I'm in the military, we deep. Wherever we went, we were deep. And I remember my homeboy said, yo, something about to drop. And I'm like, what do you mean what about to drop? And Shorter, the DJ was like, I need everybody to listen up real close. I just got the joint from Nas, the response to Jay-Z. I'm sitting here like thinking to myself, like, Nas, please don't mess this up. You know what I mean? Because at this time, we not thinking like, he dropped Nostradamus, which is a good album to me. But I'm like, hey, man, Takeover was like the figure 4 leg lock. You can't come out of that. And when he dropped it, everybody got quiet. Everybody in the club got quiet. They start flocking to the speaker. And I was right there. And Mark, if you could like honestly see me at that time, the DJ kept playing. Like you said, the DJ played it 6 times.
Yo,
the DJ kept playing it over and over. And all my homeboys was like pushing me and grabbing me by the head, saying, "Son, you are back. We back." Like they made, like I made the song. They were like, "Son, you back, you back." And all I could do was this, like, please, yes, we are here. And the way it hit people, if you was a Jay-Z fan at that time, you were crushed. Because you were like, yo, when he said you 36 in a karate class, you Tae Bo Ho, trying to work it out, trying to get brolic. Ask me if I'm trying to get knowledge. Nah, I'm trying to get that shit you need to learn though. When he said that shit, he was breaking down Jay-Z piece by piece. And I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna move on. For people who don't know what the whole ether thing was about, Jay-Z was considered the cocaine rapper, right? Because he had the cocaine flow, he had the conversational flow. During his time, Jay-Z went from the Iggity flow to what they call the conversation flow, when you're talking about the dope, the cocaine, and you really mellow and you telling a story. So when Nas dropped Ether, anyone, let me be a disclaimer. I know people that did that kind of stuff. I watch Miami Vice. So when you take ether breaks down cocaine. Ether breaks down cocaine in its purest form. So what Nas was saying was this ether is going to break down the so-called cocaine rapper Jay-Z, and I'm going to show you that he's not the blueprint. I'm the blueprint. Jay-Z is not essential, but Nas is essential. And everything he was saying in ether, all of the Jay-Z stands were like, yo, it's not real. Go back and do the research and look at bar for bar, line for line. Everything he was saying in there was actual factual. It was factual information that he was sharing because he was breaking it down piece by piece. So Kyle, I know it's still hurt. I know you still feeling a little bit. I'm gonna hit you one more time.
And his manuscript just sounds stupid when KRS already made an album called Blueprint first. Big.
Hold up.
And then you got the nerve to say that you better than Big. Dick sucking lips. Won't you lick?
That's for you, Kyle. All right, so come on, let's move on, man. Let's move on, man. Yo, I can talk about ether all day. So I just give y'all a history lesson. Jay-Z was a cocaine rapper. Nas made ether break down cocaine. He broke down Jay-Z. Rockefeller, no more. Peace. So yeah, Mark, your number one.
Wait a minute, what was your number two?
My number two, I had to pivot because we had ether together.
Okay.
So I just flipped it.
Okay.
So,
All right, I got you.
Kyle, with Nas making money. Check out last week's show, week before last show. We gave a salute segment to him. Get at me. I'll hit you up with that too.
All right, I got you.
I had to pivot, Mark.
Yeah, I got you. All right. My bad, audience. Yeah, I mean, I was a little slow on that one. All right, my bad.
So Mark number one was No Vaseline. Whoo.
Yeah.
No Vaseline.
Yeah.
That was tough, Mark. I'm not gonna lie. That was when I saw that, I'm like, I can't beat No Vaseline, in my opinion, at the time. Because No Vaseline was something that I don't think no one heard. So why you pick this one, man?
Man, I'm like, yo, because here's the thing, right? When Ice Cube came out with America's Most Wanted, right? He just, did his thing. He came to the East, Hank Shock Lee, Bomb Squad, Public Enemy. He had those people around, right? He wasn't trying to diss nobody. He was just trying to make music, right? Like, look, let me press something up, make some music. NWA took a shot at him, 100 miles and running. You know what I'm saying? He was just like, yo, I wasn't even on that type time with y'all, right? Then it was just like, okay. You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all want to go there? Okay, cool, I got you. And you got to understand, man, this is Ice Cube in his prime. Like, Ice Cube was wrapping circles around people, back then, right? So I'm like, he just went in on the whole group. You know what I'm saying? But he hurt Easy a little bit by talking about the relationship with him and Jerry Heller. You know what I'm saying? And you just like, yo, he kept referencing that in the song because you're getting fucked out your green by a white boy with no Vaseline. Like, he kept referencing Jerry Heller. Like, y'all seen the movie Straight Outta Compton. That was facts. Like, yo, man, let's sue him. Let's take him to court. Let's do all of this. You know what I'm saying? Like, that really happened. You know what I'm saying? Now, as far as what Eazy's part in it, right? I think the movie hyped it up a little bit. This was proven by BG Knockout and Drayster, who were on Real Compton City G's, Real Motherfucking G's with him, right? They said Eazy wasn't really tripping on it. He actually thought it was a good record. It was Jerry Heller who was tripping on it because it got him the worst. Like, some songs, sometimes they're meant to, diss one person, but they end up dissing somebody else worse. Like even with Cannabis second round KO, which almost made my honorable mention. That song dissed Mike Tyson way worse than it dissed LL Cool J.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So like sometimes that happens. You know what I'm saying? Yep. The same with Dre Day that we talked about. It was really meant to diss Eazy-E, but it dissed Uncle Luke worse.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Sometimes that happens, man. You know what I'm saying? But the references to Jerry Heller in that song.
Facts,
I'm like, man, Jerry Heller been wanting to sue Ice Cube forever. Like even to his death. Like when the Straight Outta Compton movie came out and they portrayed him, you know, how he was, but that's really how he was. That's what they say.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? It was just crazy. You know, that's how lethal the diss was.
Absolutely. It was straight to the point. He didn't play around. And Nick mentioned in her comment, this is when he was Q was on a whole different level at that time. He was with the FOI at that time as well. And it was one of those things where I think he was either with the Fruits of Islam or the Nation of Islam, one of the two.
I mean the Nation, but he had the Fruits with him though. He had the Fruits with him. Mm-hmm.
He was really heavy with Chuck D during that time too. Yeah. So a lot of that grit that he was getting, he was in New York with Chuck D, rocking with those guys in Public Enemy. So he came out swinging, man, and he wasn't playing around. And anyone who knows Cube, the reason why I always felt that Cube, I don't think he gets enough respect today. But Cube is definitely, I would not argue with Cube being in top 5. Cube's pen game was bananas. If you think about the scope of what he did, he was a writer for Dre, he was a writer for Easy, he was a writer for himself. Cube penned NWA. His pen game was heavy on NWA. And when he came through with that No Vaseline, that thing hit different, man. That thing hit some souls, man. It was different. It was different. It was disrespectful, very disrespectful.
And I'm gonna say like this, man. I piggyback off what you're saying about Cube, though, or whatever, right?
He doesn't.
Any rapper who was considered at one time in their career to be the best, even if it was short-lived, the fact that they were considered the best at one point in time, you should give them their flowers based right off that. You know what I'm saying? They might not ended up having the longevity to call them the best ever, right? But the fact that they were the best at one point in time, you have to show respect, to anybody who's held that crown, no matter how short or how long, you got to show respect, for that.
You got to show respect. So for some crazy reason, if y'all never heard No Vaseline, here it is.
Now making noise, Joe. White man just rolling. The niggas with attitude, who you fool? Y'all niggas.
Oh, he tore down everything that he helped build in that joint.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was crazy. So, Ice Cube, the Mega Don, salute to that brother, man. He killed it. He really killed it. So again, like I told y'all before, we kind of pivoted. So my number one, my number one was Ether, but I want to make sure that I'm clear so we're not butting heads. My substitute number one, if you will, was something that was near and dear to my heart. Although it kind of hurt me at the time when it first came out, I was kind of caught off guard. I want to see if I can find it real quick, Mark. So give me 1 second so I can tee it up. Give me 1 second.
All right, yeah. So he looking for that, John. For I don't know, it's number 1, number 2. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, man, but it's a lot of great records.
Yes. So I'm back. So mine. I already had mine listed, but I knew we was gonna butt heads at Ether somewhere, so I wanted to pivot. So the only way you can go up against No Vaseline is to hit it with one of the greatest of all times, and one of the greats is the notorious B.I.G. Biggie. When Biggie came out with Kicking the Door went at every New York rapper that was prominent during that time. He went after Nas, he went after Jeru the Damager. He even went after to DJ Premier, and Premier actually did the beat. And he also went after 2 of my favorite MCs, Ray and Ghost, in this whole song. The song Kicking the Door was ridiculous. It was something that it caught everybody off guard because I'm like, we knew Biggie was talking about somebody, and no, Merv, Kicking the Door was for a lot of people. It was not just for Nas. It was majority of that song was actually for J. Rue the Damager. A lot of that was aimed at J. Rue the Damager because they had beef behind the scenes as well. And a lot of that was for Raekwon and Ghostface as well, because Raekwon and Biggie, they had some back and forth going on, and Biggie was responding. The only thing Big said about Nas in that joint was, "Son, I'm surprised you run with them. I heard they had come at them because they're nothing but dicks." He was telling Nas, "Why you running with Ray and Ghost anyhow? Why you hanging with those guys?" Because Nas and Big was still cool at that time. So he tapped Nas lightly with that. He also tapped him in the first line. "You ran on the top with short and leprechauns." As I for so-called Billy's thugs and Mepadons. Getting your ass quick fast like Ramadan. Yo, Big was different, right? And when he dropped that joint, a lot of people did not know who he was aiming at. No, because this is during the time when this records started getting to be more, it was more like subliminal shots, because if you knew, you know what I mean? If you knew who you were talking about, you knew who he was talking about. Ray and Ghost immediately knew what he was talking about. They knew it because they addressed it a couple of times. You know what I mean? Ray addressed it on some of his songs. Like when he was like, "Throw bleach in your eye," and then Big responded saying, "Throw bleach in my eye, why try?" You know what I'm saying? Now you grilling it. You know what I'm saying? So it was one of those things where they had this underlying beef, because Ray really wanted that war with Big, because at the time, Cuban Links came out. Cuban Links was considered a classic. Ghost was ready for that beef as well. That's why he said a bit off of Nas shit. So when Kicking the Door came out, he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna hit everybody up, including you, Primo. Thank you for giving me the beat, but I'm gonna hit you too, because J. Rue the Damager is your man." So I'm gonna tap you too. And Primo actually gave the story. He said when Big did the verse and sent it over to him, Big was like, "Yo, I had to tap you light. If you don't want me to rock with it, I'll take it off." And Primo was like, "Nah, this hip hop. Keep it on there." You know what I mean? And he kept it on. So those of you who never heard of Kicking the Door, again, I don't know who you are. Don't raise your hand, but here it is.
Extra shit, who's next to flip on that cat with that grip on rap? The most shady, I'm Frankie, baby. Ain't no telling where I may be. May see me in DC at Howard Homecoming with my man Capone drumming fucking something.
Yo, he wrote that beat from the beginning to the end and the chorus. That was, look, Kicking the Door, always one of my favorite joints. It took me some time to really appreciate it, because again, he was going at some of the rappers that I really, loved back then, Nas, Ray, and Ghost. And I really felt a way about that at the time. But that joint. That joint went hard, man.
I'll say like this, man. Biggie is my brother Mo's favorite rapper all time. Period. Yeah. So in Philly, we love Biggie. You know what I'm saying? So I just like, man, it just is what it is, man. We love Biggie.
You got to. So Marc, your last one, your honorable mention.
Yeah.
You had an interesting honorable mention. I kind of figured you was gonna go ahead because you always talked about this joint anyhow. And I'm like, yo, relax, man. So your honorable mention, man. Tee us up on your honorable mention.
Yo, I'm gonna say like this, right? This was cold. I'm gonna get to the lyrics real quick, and then I'm gonna just tell you what I think, man. The ball push, how he hit him. You know what I mean? Talking about your boy Drake, and this how he hit him. "You're hiding the child. Let that boy come home. Deadbeat motherfucker playing border patrol. Ooh, Adonis is your son, and he deserves more than an Adidas press run. Goodness, that's real. Love that baby. Respect that girl. Forget she's a porn star. Let her be your world." That was cold, man. That was just disrespectful as hell. Like, I mean. I'm like, Drake couldn't have did nothing with that. He couldn't have did nothing with that. You know what I mean? He knows it. The fact that he had to, you know what I mean, the OG had to reach out on his behalf. We're talking about Jay Prince and shut shit down. I was just like, man, that's how crazy that was. But, I think Drake, you know what I'm saying? You ever see somebody at a bar and they're drinking too much and they have liquid courage? This is what Drake had after the Meek Mill diss. You know what I'm saying?
That's what this is about.
It was liquid courage because
That's what
You
this
know
is.
what I'm saying? You know, because it's like, yo, I diss Meek. Yeah, I mean, for now I could go with anybody. No, dude, that's Meek Mill. No disrespect to Meek, but he's not Pusha T. It ain't even close. And you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, it's a lot of things that were in play. Drake kind of revealed some things to Kanye West. Kanye West passed that information to Push, and Push put it out. It's crazy. And I'm gonna tell you, the thing that really made it even worse to me is when Drake went on LeBron's show, The Shop, that comes on HBO, and he was just, well, I mean, you know, they can have that, man. You know, I wasn't even trying to go there. I'm like, Drake really had his tail between his legs, running and hiding. I think this is Tayson's favorite song of all time.
Yo, man.
His personal favorite. I know it's up there for Nathaniel Allen too, but you know what I'm saying? I think this, you know, it's Tayson's favorite song of all time. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yo, so that's the angle here, is because Drake got at Meek. So that's the angle that you guys are going at. I get it. That's y'all crazy, man. Look, you know, that song was crazy, right? Pusha he took it there. Drake never, they say, now again, I heard the story where they said that Drake had a diss record that was going to be like damaging, but he didn't release it. Jay Prince got involved and was like, nah, don't do that. Don't take it there because it's going to get ugly. So they say he had shit on deck. So that's why he started poking Kanye at the time, because he knew Kanye gave all the information to Pusha. You know what I mean? So that was a situation where it could have gotten worse. Here's the thing: who really won that battle? Because if you think about it, we don't talk about Push like that. And people waiting for Drake to drop stuff. You know what I mean? So I think Pusha won the skirmish, but I don't think he won the overall war, because Drake is still out here making music. People waiting for him, and I don't think anybody really checking for Pusha like that. If anything, Pusha messed some money up, because, and you know, I think Drake was going to go to Adidas, and his line was going to be called Adidon or something like that. And because Pusha jumped the gun and did that, Drake decided to go to Adidas. So they end up losing money. So now Pusha doesn't have that contract with Adidas. If you know, Pusha used to have a contract with Adidas. So it was different, man. So those of you who never heard that song, here's a snippet for what that sound like.
Wait, let's examine why your music for the past few years been angry and full of lies. I started at the home front, I'm on one. Then this gram stay off the gram, bitch, I'm on one.
He winning.
Yeah, but see, I mean, this is why I try to, when it's a diss, right? You know what I'm saying? It ain't really about your status. It's more about, can you beat this dude on that day? That's just like, you know what I'm saying? If your favorite team is whoever, right? Your favorite team could be the Brooklyn Nets, and they have all their stars there, right? They could be playing the Oklahoma City Thunder, who has no stars. But on that day, if OKC beat them, they beat them. You know what I mean? And this is rap. You know what I mean? So I think this is what's different between our era and this new era. You know what I mean? Our era is like, it didn't matter what your status was. Just can you go right now? I'm coming at you right now. Can you go right now? And I think this era is a little different. They try to throw whatever their status is out there, and that's trying to run away from the battle. Don't run away from the battle. If you got beat, you got to own that. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing I said with Meek, right? I'm just like, listen, dude, you got beat. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? You don't gotta, you know what I mean, for real, you know, send y'all me for the goons when Drake come to Philly, y'all me to try to get at him. And Drake shouldn't have the, y'all me had hire AR, y'all mean, to make sure everything was cool in Philly. It shouldn't have to go there. Like, dude, you just got beat, you got spanked, and you gotta live with it. And I think that's what battle rap should be.
Absolutely. But it's no different than Cannabis and LL. We knew Cannabis got LL with that second KO.
Yeah, he got it.
He got it. But guess what happened? LL ended his career. LL's consistency was too much for Cannabis to handle. And that's when you know you sparring with the wrong sparring partner, because you can't called a juggernaut. You know what I mean? LL was a juggernaut, still is. And although cannabis laid a very vicious punch on him, LL shook that shit off and ended cannabis career straight up. And
well, shoot, that was undone from the inside. Yeah, I mean, for real, I think Wyclef squashed it.
Yeah.
And then Cannabis album was terrible. That was kind of crazy right there.
Absolutely. So my last honorable mention was one that I had to go into the crates for, and I had so many to pull from. And
definitely,
Sheetha definitely was on my radar. I really
me too.
I really have Sheetha on my radar. Marc and I talked about this last night. We could have gone 15 to 20. There were so many that missed the cut. I saw KB put on there 50 How to Rob. Me personally, I wouldn't put 50 How to Rob in my top anything of disc records because it was too playful. I never liked that song. I thought that song was corny, honestly, but I get it. It was something that he got people attention on. There was so many. I thought Back Down was probably one of his best. You know, and Rika.
Oh, Break It Dawn.
Break It Dawn. Rika, I swear to you, I had Break It Dawn playing earlier today.
Oh man, Rika, y'all mean good one with that. That was my shit.
Yeah, I really wanted to put Break It Dawn on there.
Yeah,
but I wanted to kind of modernize my honorable mention because I'll be remiss if I didn't play this one. And this is more so something that I don't know if y'all heard this one before, but this shit went hard. Hold on.
Fine without you. The Pac probably would have made an album about you. Yeah. So I guess that just leaves me here to get rid of you. And Rakim and them, they don't even consider you. M know you ain't got nothing for G.
So for those of you who don't know, that song is called Problem Child by Jadakiss and Styles P. And they were going at 50 in this joint. And this shit went bananas.
Mm-hmm. Even though your career is based off somebody damn near killing you, shit you be doing ain't even considered rapping to us. This is probably the best thing that happened to us. Best gangster, internet gangster, magazine mobster, shit on your whole roster.
Yo, when Jada dropped that joint, I was like, 50 don't respond because he got more. He's waiting.
And he did. 50 did, right? He did respond.
He responded lightly. He kind of shrugged it off because he knew that Jada and Styles, those guys were ready. Yeah, facts. Mo, when he called him Ninja Turtle, 50 thing was he wanted to joke around about it when those guys were really going at him because when he posted, I think during this time 50 had posted like a Ninja Turtle.
Son.
What's that?
There you go. Put Tayson comment back up. Facts. Yeah, I mean, Jada ain't back down.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't back down in Philly.
Yeah, he was in Philly. You know what I mean? They were throwing stuff at him, and he went off the dome. Look, Jada is a monster, right? We knew that. But when he started going at 50, when that D Block started going at G Unit, I think they had about 3 or 4 mixtapes, and they were jumping all on 50, and 50 couldn't do anything with it. He knew. I think 50 knew that he had to tread lightly because you had Styles P coming right behind the corner waiting, and he never said anything about Styles because he knew Styles was going to go at him as well. He said nothing about Sheik because Sheik is really about that. So he really kept it to Jada, but he never really said anything about Jada. Even all of those guys, even Game actually started throwing shots at 50. Because of that, because him and Jada and all those guys are cool. You had Fat Joe that was out there. This was during the time where everybody they saw 50 wounded because of Jada. You know what I mean? And Jada just went in, man. And that Problem Child was just so ridiculous. And he said it. He said, this is the best thing that happened to us. Like, we wanted you to say something about us. We were waiting for you to say something about us. And you finally did it. So that was my honorable mention. I wanted to get into more of hip hop beef. There's so many songs out there, man. We could have picked from. I mean, we could have go into the LL bag. We could have gone into the Rakim bag, and you know what I mean, because Ryan and Kane had some subliminal joints. We could have gone into all of those bags. Facts, Merv. They was going to do a pay-per-view for $1 million, but 50 didn't want that smoke. He knew at that time. He was in the right situation to knock off Ja Rule at that time. and he had help. You got Eminem, you got Drake, you got Busta Rhymes. They all jumping on Ja and poor little Ja. And then they got Ja out the game, but they weren't going to do the same thing for Jada.
I'm gonna try to shoot, and then you had the 50 Rick Ross beat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which
and
was
Ross
crazy.
Ross got in a Mark.
Yeah,
Ross,
so that
Ross
and I'm
got
like, man, that Mafia music remix that had Game, Ja Rule, and Fat Joe on with Ross. That shit was hard as nails, man.
That shit was hard, man.
Nobody tell me that wasn't hard.
Yo, don't get it twisted. Man, we are, shit, Mark, we're way past our time.
Yeah,
bro.
I know, man. We can go all night with this shit. That's how
we can go all night with this, man. We are way past our time. I forgot to shout out everybody because I think we probably transitioned already. But yo, definitely we want to give rest in peace to Shot G.
Yeah.
As well as Terrence Clark. Man, the hip hop world lost another one. I don't know we get Pac without Shock G. I really don't. I really don't.
And Shock G was he's a musical genius. He just knew music. I mean, he knew cadences. He had a video that I posted in the group. He was telling everybody's rapping style. This is how Nas raps. This is how, you know what I mean, Biggie raps. This is how Tupac does it. Like, I mean, he really got intricate in the telling of how they deliver. I'm like, that it takes a genius to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he was all about life, all about music, man. So rest in peace to that brother, man, because he was very important to music. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And Terrence Clark, his life was just getting started. Just getting started. A friend of mine coached him the last 2 summers before he went to Kentucky. Bright kid, very, very nice kid, just well-spoken, well-mannered, came from good peoples, man. This is the type of kid you would want in your own family. Like, that's how good of a kid that he was.
Right.
And he certainly was a draft prospect, you know what I'm saying? Right up, I think if he would have had the chance to do the workouts for the teams, he probably would push himself right in the first round.
Right.
And one more thing I'm going to say about Terrence Clark. His friend and teammate, BJ Boston, who will be a first-round draft pick this year, was following right behind him in another car. And he had to see everything that happened. And that was his best friend. So prayers for BJ Boston and Terrence Clark's family because, BJ's going to have to live with that. Seeing his friend, for real, get killed or whatever. So, and that's hard to take, when you see it live like that, man. So prayers for BJ, prayers for Terrence Clark's family.
Absolutely. And just a quick salute, man, to some of the brothers out there celebrating Black excellence, of course.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Man, we got to give a salute to the brother Daniel, man. Daniel Kaluuya being able to get that Oscar, man, for his
excellent performance.
Man. Excellent performance, man. Fred Hampton, Mervyn Jackson, y'all did the recap of this movie. We knew it was a powerful movie, man, and he definitely got what he deserved for that, man. So salute to that brother for winning the Oscar, man. Very well played role. He really did his thing. So shout out to that brother, man. We also want to salute, the great Master P.
Again.
Master P is out here doing his thing, man. His kids are successful. He got them $1 million contract. I mean, Master P, man. P doesn't get. I don't think P get enough flowers. Honestly,
no, you don't get enough.
He's a horrible rapper, but he's a hustler. He's a hustler, man.
Yeah, I'm like, man, and the deals that he set up, he got a deal for his son Hersey for $2.5 million. He said he hasn't signed it yet because he doesn't want his son to mess up the eligibility. But that's going to change soon because kids should be able to be paid on their image and likeness. That's nothing to do with college. You know what I'm saying? If you can make money off the court or off the field with your own likeness, you should be able to do so.
Yep, absolutely. And most definitely salute to the brother Steph Curry, man.
Yes.
This is huge right here. Giving out big donations, man, for a golf scholarship, man, over at the University, Howard University, man. This is huge. Anyone who knows anything about golf is a gentleman's sport. And I think this is a very good look for Steph. The fact that he was able to do this for HBCU, man, that's very dope, man. So salute to that brother for really taking the time and just looking at things in a different perspective, man.
Yeah, and I think this is the only Division I HBCU to have a golf program.
Absolutely.
So it's Division I. That means they're going to compete with, the top schools in the country, the Stanfords and the schools like that. They're going to be able to compete with them. And shout to Steph, man, for getting behind the Howard University golf program, and hopefully, some good things. Some good stories come out of this.
Absolutely.
Which I think it will.
Absolutely. So, Mark, with that said, man, another good show tonight. I mean, we could go on and on, man. But another good show. Great participation. I think we had over 150 plus comments, had double-digit views tonight. Man, wonderful show. Thank you all for even tuning in and watching us and listening to us tonight. We got a lot coming up. This week is going to be a very strong week. Make sure you hop on tomorrow night, represent and support my guys, Marc, Merv, Stacks. They're going to give the final episode of Snowfall. They're going to talk about that tomorrow. So make sure you tune in at 7 o'clock for that. And then on Wednesday, we're going to wrap up the week, our week of podcasting with a great show. The homie Kyle, if you out there listening, we're going to pay homage to your topic that you came up with. And we're going to put a little spin on it as well. The topic that we're going to talk about on Wednesday would be about the alpha male, alpha female.
Right.
We're going to get into that topic. We want max participation on this topic because we noticed how much traction that topic got in the chats, where you have people really passionate about those independent women out there don't need that guy, or that guy who who's okay with having a career woman, and that guy who want to have a woman stay home. So we're going to get into that. Tell a friend to tell a friend, because that topic is very, very layered, and we want a lot of participation. Kyle brought that topic up. I think we had over 200 plus comments on that topic. I think it was more than that, because it kept growing. And we want to figure out, we want to get to the bottom of this. We want to get to the bottom if there's a legit alpha female, if there's such thing as that, if there's a such thing as an alpha male for real. So we want to talk about all of that. We're going to talk about independent women, stay-at-home dads. We're going to get into all of the smoke. So Stacks is already like hyped up. He sent me like a dissertation this morning saying, yo, man, I really want to get on this one because I really got something to say. And Merv, y'all know how Merv is. Merv said he's gonna break out the finest Thunderbird that he had on ice for 4 weeks. I told Merv, I said, Thunderbird doesn't age like wine, so it doesn't matter how long you had it. Merv, I don't care. Merv had a bottle of Thunderbird on ice for 4 weeks, so he's ready to crack that one open for the special occasion. And I know the brother Marc is going to have some crazy things he's going to share from his perspective. Marc don't care if you a stay-at-home woman or if you're a career woman. He don't care. So Marc does not discriminate on what you do. So if you're listening, KB, be on standby. If you're listening, Nick, be on standby. Anybody out there that want to hop on this topic, I need you to start inboxing us starting today. Starting tonight. If you want to hop on this topic, you need to start tonight so we can know how to layer it out, because we want everybody a chance to be able to get in to that groove so we can really do this thing the right way. So again, you heard it tonight. Wednesday night, we're going to talk about the alpha male, alpha female. We're going to get into all of it. We're going to be with the shits. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Everybody's going to get right. I implore you to get your finest smoke, whatever that is. I will implore you to get a nice cigar, a Black and Mild. If you're from Merv, if you're from Georgetown, get the finest Black and Mild you can find from the corner store. And also make sure that you get the finest liqueur that you can find as well, because we're going to get into it. This is going to be a heated pod. So with that said, shout out to YouTube, shout out to Facebook Live, shout out to Blackjack TV, shout out to Channel 199 Zingo TV, shout out to Twitch. Shout out to Instagram, Twitter. Shout out to everybody who was rocking with us tonight. Timothy Wright, Merv, Nick, KB, Trey. Shout out to the family. Shout out to everybody who's just rocking with us, man. Mo hopping in tonight. Tayson, our street team. Shout out to all of y'all. And Marc, shout out to you, homie. We brought it tonight. We still got people in the we got people watching. We try to close this thing out. So again, y'all, until tomorrow and Wednesday, we'll see y'all tomorrow. We'll see y'all again on Wednesday. Peace.